Welcome back to another episode. It's a solo podcast. My brother and I'm Rafael Espinoza.
Miguel Espinoza.
All right, today's topic, we're talking about school. So the importance of school for high schoolers, planning on playing college soccer, that kind of stuff. So I want to start off with asking you, what kind of student were you in high school?
I think I was average. Up until high school, you said high school. Huh?
Yeah, high school.
Okay, well, if it comes to high school, then I was pretty poor. Only because
You're average in elementary school or
middle
what?
school going up.
Okay.
No, but high school, I think it was bad because, even before starting high school, I tore my ACL.
All right.
So I think from there, motivation went down. I was in relationships that were not good,
Toxic.
very toxic, and and then from that, it led for me to not care about school. Because there was a point in high school when I was just like, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to play college because of my grades and because of soccer. The whole reason was to go to college was to play soccer there.
You felt like nothing was working out.
And nothing was working out. Obviously, I wasn't going to look that because I wasn't playing anywhere.
Right.
So motivation went down from there. And I was so focused on like the relationship with the girlfriend. So yeah, it was bad. It was not a good student. I mean, I was a good student, but
You just
my
didn't
mind was
apply
elsewhere.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, my story is a little different.
Yeah.
But then again, I think with because you being the older brother, I feel like this is just like a common trend.
Yeah, so you guys need an older brother like me, so you guys can learn.
Yeah, so you need someone
Learn what not to do.
who goes the bad route, so you know to go to the better route. But no, but it's like the common, it's a common like theme in our relationship, and I think that's why I'm really grateful for being the younger brother, because I don't just learn from you, I learn from our sisters as well.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest of 5, so I get to learn a lot from you guys, and that was the thing. Like I just like, cause it was you were like big on like don't do what I did. Like with me growing up and stuff, like you were huge about me not playing certain leagues and stuff because you didn't want me to go through the same injuries as you went through. In high school, you didn't want me going the bad, like you wanted me to stay on like the good route,
Yeah.
and that's ultimately what I ended up doing. I think like like you, elementary school and middle school, I was very, I would say I was like a tryhard. I guess I was just very competitive, and I wanted to be the best in like on the field, but in the classroom as well. Like I wanted to show everybody that I was smarter than them. But I don't think I was like the smartest kid in the classroom. I was just the kid that tried the hardest to like do the best work, I guess.
Would you say that was like good motivation for you to?
To do well, yeah. Like genuinely, I do not like school. Like I hated school. Elementary school, I remember like, like, so the apartment we lived in, we had like 1.5 bathrooms. And the half bathroom was in my mom's room, and I remember going specifically into her bathroom and pretend to throw up in the toilet so that I wouldn't have to go to school the next day. Like I didn't like school. Like I generally didn't. And then later when you get a little bit older, it becomes more like the social aspect of things, of why I enjoyed going to school, because I got to hang out with my friends. And stuff like that. I would say elementary school, middle school, it was more of that competition aspect of it. It's like I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be the top of the classroom with grades, stuff like that. And then in high school, it shifted more to not so much thinking about everybody else, but more so thinking for myself.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I want to be the best I can possibly be, and I want to give it my all. So I was big on not wanting to give mediocre work. Like I didn't want to be mediocre. That was my biggest thing. And I felt like if I took just like the regular classes in high school, and if I got B's or just passing grades, I felt like I knew I wasn't giving it my all.
Right.
That's what it was at first. And then first year I took some AP classes, I was in honors classes, and then throughout the time in high school, I was honors and AP classes. And I got straight A's. I ended up graduating with a 4.3 GPA. So straight A's throughout the entire 4 years I was in high school. But after like right around like freshman year or a little bit after freshman year is when it like started clocking that the ultimate goal is to play professionally, but I kind of had a feeling that I would have to go the college route. And when I thought about things in the grand scheme of things, it's like, okay, like this is a competitive sport. You know, you always hear like only a certain percentage of people make it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, what's going to give me an advantage? What's going to get me in that percentage, you know? And I could be as good as I possibly can be on the field. But if a college coach, well, ultimately college is about grades. Like, you know, you hear everybody like, oh, I'm taking all these AP classes so I can go to college, you know? So if college is ultimately about your grades, you know, how well you do academically, I don't think if I can do well in both the soccer and academically, I just kind of assumed it would give me a higher chance to getting
Right. Right.
into the college system.
I think that would say a lot to a coach that's trying to recruit you. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he's top of his grades. You know, he's a good
Yeah.
soccer player.
Ultimately, it was all like kind of on assumption. You always hear do well in school, like you have to do well in school, but nobody told me get straight A's. I was just like, I know I can get straight A's. I know I can do it. So why not push myself to do that?
Yeah.
And that was kind of my mentality to do that because I know it would give me a competitive edge later. So my mindset kind of went from like being super competitive, wanting to be better than everybody else, but then it's kind of switched over to like, okay, what's going to give me a competitive edge to get into where I want to go after high school. And ultimately it worked out. And I think a lot of high schoolers now need to really take this into consideration. You don't need to take honors classes and AP classes. You just need to have a good grades,
good GPA.
If you have a good GPA, if you can, it doesn't guarantee you that if you take all these AP classes and honors classes, it won't guarantee you that you will get into a D1 that you're wanting to get into, right? That's not going to guarantee. I would say take more of like the regular classes if it's gonna and have like good grades then try to like take all these honors and AP classes and maybe all the stress and stuff is going to take away from the playing, you know, take away from your actual performance in soccer.
Yeah.
You have to have a good balance between the two. I figured that out in my junior year. Like I only took, I think, 2 AP classes and I was recommended by the counselors there to take 2 other ones. And I was like, no, I'm not like, I don't care to do that.
Right.
Like I'm doing the 2 that I know I can, it was like AP Spanish and AP like English. And like AP English, like literature or something like that.
Yeah.
Or yeah, language, whatever. I'm like, I can do those. Those are like, I know I can get by. I don't care to do AP chemistry. I don't care to do like, I think it was like AP US history, which was probably would have been fine, but it was just another AP class.
Yeah.
From
Lot
what I
more
knew, it
work.
was like a lot of like reading and stuff, and I think that's just gonna take away. From,
What's
like,
the difference from an AP class to a regular?
AP class is like they're more challenging, and then you get like if you pass like the AP exam for that class, you get credits for college. So like I
that's cool.
passed the AP Spanish exam, so I didn't have to take a language in college. That's kind of like the benefit of it, and that's why like students take it. But it also boosts your GPA.
Yeah, for
That's why I
sure.
had a 4.3.
You think, well, coaches obviously look at that, obviously knowing and thinking that, oh, this kid
Yeah.
will get other like scholarships that will pay for schooling, so they have like less of a budget for them to give you if they're giving you a scholarship, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's what's happening, right?
Yeah. So I mean, players need to understand this. Like, yes, like if you're a high schooler right now and you think you're so good that you can go to any school just because of how good you are, you have it all wrong. Like if you're so good that you can sign professionally out of high school, then you probably are that good. But if you don't sign right out, you probably aren't as good as you think you are. So maybe a college route is probably the route to take. But again, if you so there's a lot of players who have to take a different route, like the JUCO route, because of their grades. They are good enough players to play at the D1 level, but because of their grades, they can't go there. There's also kids who can play at a D1 level, but you gotta understand there's a lot of good players throughout the US and colleges are or coaches are now recruiting internationally a lot more than
Yeah.
ever. So there's a lot of competition in the college system now. So if you're a great player, but your GPA is like a 2.8 or whatever, 3.0, let's just say 3.0, and you're a good striker, right? And then you have another good striker, or maybe this guy's has less goals than you did in the same league that you guys played in the past season. Has a few less goals, but he has a 4.0 GPA, and he can get scholarships from the school to help pay for him to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Now coach is now considering, okay, like this guy may not be as good, but he's less expensive.
Right.
I don't have to put as much into his scholarship as this kid because he has the academic scholarships that he can get.
Right.
It's kind of like, because there's each college has a budget and they can only give a certain amount. They would rather put more money into an international who's more expensive to bring in than someone who, let's say, is local and
Has good grades.
has like if you have like good grades, you get a more chunk of the money is from the school directly, not from the soccer budget. So there's like a lot of those little things that you need to understand. Ultimately, if you do well in school and you have a good GPA, I think for me at least, like this was my mindset in high school, is like just do your best in all categories of life, and that's kind of like why I maintained such like high standards in everything I did, and it paid off. And again, me getting to UCI, it was I think there's a lot of factors that went into it. They liked how I played. They liked the kind of player I was, sure, right? Were there better players that they probably could have recruited? Maybe, but I was a local. That's already less expensive. I was 4.3 GPA. I can get scholarships from the school, academic scholarships from the school, and what else? There's some other thing. Oh, I qualified for FAFSA.
Oh, right.
Which more money that I can get in that does not take away from their budget.
Right.
Those little things. Now, am I completely accurate with it all? Like, I don't know. I could probably be wrong about certain things, but that's kind of like what it is. And I'm sure that they saw my GPA and they thought, oh, this kid can like. Another thing, sorry. And I don't know how important it is in certain schools, but certain teams, or no, like every sports team at a school, they have a average GPA amongst the locker room.
Okay.
And they have the average GPA, and it's the schools, at least at UCI, like they prioritize academics, and that's most schools, I would say.
Yeah.
They prioritize academics. So if your team is known for having a low GPA, then there's like, the coach is more likely to have like trouble with the head of athletics.
Right.
But if you're recruiting players and allow that can boost the average team GPA and can maintain that GPA, they're more like just a better relationship with the athletic director. Again, this is just kind of like maybe a small little thing, but it's like
that's big.
like I just can't say how big it is because I have no idea.
Right,
I don't know how big of a deal it is, but it is something.
It's a factor.
It is a factor. So those are the things that people don't think about.
Yeah.
So I think, I like, and I didn't think about when I was in high school. I had no idea.
You just knew to have good grades.
Right. And
okay. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of players, people know this, that you should get good grades in school, right?
Yeah.
But there's kids like in my team, for example, I've heard like in high school that like when you say a certain GPA, I think I said it. I said you need at least a 3.0 or something. They're like, what? 3.0? Like, no way. Like, maybe a 2.5 or something, but 3.0? Like, they make it seem like it's like so hard to do. Or So what would you say to players like that that have like it's not it's a fixed mindset, I think is what it
Yeah.
is, when they just don't feel like, or they know they can do more.
If you struggle to do things that you don't like to do, then you're gonna struggle in life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you need to do in life that you just don't enjoy doing, but you have to do it. So if they're like, if their mindset is like, I can't get a 3.0. A 3.0 is like, dude, just do your homework. That's honestly it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, a big part of the grades in school were just homework. And I was like trying to be like, I'm very time conscious. So like I value my time more than, not my time, but I value time more than anything. So I try to make the most out of my time. This is ultimately why I'm pursuing this dream. Why I've stayed local for so long, because I value my time with my family, my friends.
Yeah.
And I just don't like my time being wasted. So in school, I think this is a good little like strategy for whoever. Like whenever there is time, like let's say like in one class, we're watching a documentary or whatever, and like there's often had that. During that time I was watching the documentary, I'm not sitting there watching the documentary or on my phone. I'm doing a homework for another class.
Yeah.
Or like, that kind of stuff. I'm trying to make like time for what I know is required. Like these are like, yeah, so that's just something that came to mind. Like it's just homework. Just do your homework. Like honestly, and then go to that teacher. My biggest thing is that I always established really good relationships with my teachers. I like wanted them to know that, look, I was a troublemaker too, like well, oftentimes in high school not so much, but like in high school I was able to kind of mess around and be a bit of like be myself because I established good relationships with my teachers. But they knew that I was like what like I was gonna get my stuff done. And if you have that with your teacher, if you're constantly going to them, asking them how you can get your grades up, like what it is that so you can at least get a B in that class.
Right.
That like if you go and you ask them, they are more than likely they'll tell you what it is that you need to do. And like these teachers, from my understanding, don't want to fail you.
Right.
That's not their intention. Like I want to fail these guys. No, it's they want to teach you and they want you to do your best. So if you are someone who struggles to get like good grades and you want to get good grades, just go to your teachers and ask them what it is that I need to do to get a B or an A in this class.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you exactly what it is, I think.
I think they also need to just have their priorities straight.
Yeah.
Like if it's, going to university or something, or playing soccer, like you said, then that's a factor, is having
Yeah.
the good grades. But I know but this is just from experience through like my coaching and through myself as well. There's other things that, we start to experience, like a relationship, or, just being able to, now you have the freedom, you're older, to go and hang out and do stuff outside of school, with your friends. I don't know if you had, I know you went out, like you had
Yeah.
friends and you had time to go hang out with your friends and play too.
Yeah.
What would you say to, players?
Well, you
who
said
lack
it.
Just priorities?
Yeah, like you gotta know your priorities. Like if you say that your number one priority is to play pro. Let's say that's it's your priority. That's you're set on that. You want to play pro. But easy one, you're not putting in the time to do extra training, then you have it messed up. Where you'd rather go and hang out with this girl than go and train, or you'd rather go and hang out with your friends than like all night and not do any of your homework that's due the next day. Then you got it all wrong. Like you got to set your priorities, and if let's say pro is your number one priority, let's just say playing professional soccer, take every route that's possible for you to get to there. Okay, set yourself up as best as possible for you to get there. So if one route is playing college, okay, how are you gonna set yourself up the best to get through that college system?
Yeah.
And that's with your grades. Okay, so now what do I need to do to get my grades up? I just need to do the bare minimum, dude. Just get your homework done. But I just know your priorities. And I think your current girlfriend right now, if you're in high school, I'm sorry to say this, but it's
Harsh
probably
reality.
not. It probably shouldn't be your number one priority.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like you shouldn't put her up there, but it shouldn't be your number one, and it shouldn't be her number one
She
either.
should understand too.
Yeah, or his number one.
Yeah. Or
But
if it's a girl.
so it like, and I mean, some people just want to play college soccer. Okay, so if you want to just go and play college soccer, all right, then school should be a priority automatically.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of like,
Collegiate.
yeah.
Collegiate soccer.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think ultimately you gotta analyze what your priorities are and categorize it.
Yeah.
And put them in levels. You don't have to tell your friends or your girlfriend where they fall in that. in
Right.
this,
Obviously.
But
not.
you gotta have that at least in mind. And so when it comes to making decisions, you have to.
I think actions speak louder than words.
For sure.
100%.
And if you want it, you'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll do something as simple as getting your grades up.
Yeah. So here's the thing. How often, this is from my experience, and then I want to see yours. How often did you wake up in the morning feeling like you're gonna get in trouble because you didn't do your homework, and you feel like this sort of like not guilt, but you feel,
Yeah.
like you're gonna get not called out, but you're gonna get in trouble.
Right.
Like, how often did you feel that? Because I felt that all the time because I never did my homework.
Yeah.
And then that makes me not want to go to school.
I think I definitely felt that a few times. Like it's normal. I mean, you're a high schooler. You're even in college. Like you're gonna like. I think my biggest thing is I'm a big procrastinator, but ultimately I got it done. I think I got it done. So whether that's like right before the whistle blows when the class starts, like I found a way to get it done, and that was like ultimately it. Is just find a way to get it done. And yeah, no, a few times I would, but I tried to avoid that to the best of my ability. Maybe that required me staying up pretty late, but again, I knew that I had to do it, so I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, no, I know, and this is, look, I never did my homework, I'm gonna be honest. I never did, and it led from me to, at first feeling guilty because I didn't do my homework, to then not even showing up to the school, so then that way I wouldn't get in trouble, and I wouldn't, have to deal with what I'm fearful of.
Yeah.
And then it led to me getting kicked out of school. And that's not cool. Like, as much as, I'm trying to, like, make it, like, a joke about it, it's, at the end of the day, I still have regrets till this day. And it's not a good feeling, dude. It's not a good feeling to, just look back and it's be like, wow, like, I seeing how I am right now and what I'm capable of, that going through the school, just, like Raf said, you just have to do the bare minimum, dude.
Yeah.
And you get,
Yeah, ultimately you want to set yourself up for success and you don't want to look back and regret your decisions that you made. So if you want to have success in life, I would say, but in soccer, then set yourself up for that success.
Yeah.
Don't, if a certain amount of people have said like this is like an important thing, and we're people who have spoken to college coaches and they've like, I've gone through the college system, I understand it. I'm not saying this. I'm no school advocate. I'm telling you, I don't like school, but it is, it's important.
Yeah.
So.
And one last thing I want to say, from me being around, the professional environment and having people in that area of like college, from what I've heard, a lot of them want to push, yes, players, they want them to pursue the professional route, but they also want them to get their education because they all know how difficult it is to make it into the professional. So if people say it's a safety net, but it honestly is, because it could, depending on what you want to study and stuff, it could, if anything fails, like, an injury or you just don't get signed, that's something you could go towards, I guess, and have some sort of something to lay on so you can, be secure, I guess.
I
I know
mixed
it's
feelings
so
about
mixed,
it,
but I know I do too. But like that's from what I've heard from being around those people.
I think ultimately education is important. So I think I value education. I don't really care for the school system very much, but I value education.
Yeah.
So but that's a different topic. That's a completely different topic.
100%.
So just to keep it, and we wrap it up with this, if you want to play college soccer and you want to have the best chance of doing that, get your grades up and put in the work on and off the field.
Just do it.
And
Set
don't live your life
priorities.
with regret. Yeah, set your priorities. Set yourself up for success. You don't have to hang out with your girlfriend every day or boyfriend every day. And yeah, simple as
And you're capable of getting good grades. Just do your work.
Yeah, you're capable of
Literally,
it,
don't think that just because he got a 4.3 doesn't mean he's a genius. He just did his work.
Hey, what the fuck? The hell? I am a genius. Nah. All right. All right. That's pretty good. We'll wrap it up there. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I know we kind of like. I feel like we're staring at the camera when we're talking sometimes, but
Because we're talking at them, dude. Like
yeah.
we want them to know.
I think I felt like you were talking to your high school boys and
I was.
right now in varsity. Good. You should send them this once it's out.
So this is a good episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. You guys follow us on Instagram at withoutadoubt_athletics. Rafael Espinoza.x.
Miguel Espinoza.x.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
And then like and subscribe us on YouTube, bro. Like, come on. All right.